Okay, stop scrolling. Seriously, just for a second. Put the phone down. Pause the multitasking. Ignore the notifications. I want you to look up. Literally, look at the wall in front of you, or the horizon if you're out walking the dog. Now, I want you to do something significantly harder. I want you to look ahead in time. What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing 10 minutes from now? What are you doing next year?
It's a powerful pause, isn't it? That specific moment where you stop just consuming the now, which is what scrolling is, right? Just a constant feed of the present, and start actually constructing the next.
That is the entire vibe, the entire mission of today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're talking about a massive shift. If you've been following this journey with us, you know we are deep in the woods of a 30-day challenge. Specifically, we have reached day 22. And day 22 isn't just another calendar date to tick off.
No, absolutely not. In the context of skill acquisition, specifically language learning, which is what we're dissecting, day 22 is a threshold. It's a biological and psychological tipping point.
It's huge. And the source material for today makes a really interesting pivot because of that. Up until now, everything we've discussed in this stack of research has been about the present naming things, describing your routine, or the immediate past, which was the heavy focus of day 21. But today we pivot entirely to the future.
Which is psychologically very different. This is something I think people underestimate when they are learning a language. When you speak in the present tense, you are essentially a reporter. You are observing the world and describing it. The cat is black, I am eating lunch, the bus is late. You're passive.
You're a witness.
You're a witness. But when you speak about the future, you stop being a reporter and you start being an architect.
I love that image. The architect of your own timeline.
Precisely. You are declaring things that do not exist yet. You are stating intentions, dreams, predictions. It requires a different level of confidence and, structurally, a completely different set of tools. You are imposing your will on reality. You aren't just saying, the house is here. You're saying, I am going to build a house.
And the mission for this deep dive is to hand over those tools. We aren't just talking about dry grammar charts here. We're talking about how to articulate big dreams, how to nail down those small weekend plans with friends, and how to define your career goals without sounding like you're reading from a dusty instruction manual.
And doing it in a way that sounds natural, not robotic. Because there is a nuance in English future tense that trips up almost everyone. It's not just one rule, it's a feeling.
Right, because there's nothing worse than sounding like a robot when you're trying to tell someone you want to marry them or, I don't know, buy a scooter.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this. We have a lot of ground to cover, from the survival phase we just left to the 2 giant pillars of future tense, and finally to a lab where we test this out in real scenarios.
It's going to be a comprehensive session.
See what you did there? It's going to be. You're already doing it.
I can't help myself. It's wired in.
Before we get to the how, I really want to talk about the who. Who was the listener at day 22? The source material gives us this incredible recap of what the learner has achieved in the first 21 days. And I have to say, looking at this list, it's actually staggering. We usually gloss over the beginning stages of learning because we're so focused on the end goal, but this is significant.
It is, and it's important to contextualize this. The source mentions that showing up for 21 straight days is something most people never do for any skill.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about gym memberships in January.
Oh, yeah.
By day 21, the gym is usually half empty. It's a well-known phenomenon.
That's a hard truth. We all know that resolution drop-off curve. It's brutal.
But we live in a world of starting things. We love day 1. Day 1 is exciting. It's full of dopamine. You have the new gear, the new notebook. But day 22 is where the novelty has totally worn off and pure discipline has taken over. If you are listening to this and you have actually done the work for 21 days, you have moved past the trying phase and into the doing phase. You've built the habit loop.
So let's look at the specific milestones mentioned in the source, because it really sets the stage for why you, the listener, are ready for the future tense. The source calls this the survival phase.
Right. And you can think about it like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but applied to language. In a new language, the first thing you need is just survival. Can you say hello? Can you introduce yourself? Can you ask where the bathroom is?
The source lists greeting people naturally and introducing self with confidence as the first big wins.
That's crucial social glue. If you can't do that, you remain an outsider. You can't enter the conversation. You're just a ghost in the room. It's the key to opening the very first door.
Then it moves to foundational skills. Mastered vowel sounds, telling time, and using magic verbs.
Magic verbs is a great term for it. It usually refers to those high-frequency engines like have, do, go. You can build, 80% of your daily sentences with just those? They're the workhorses. And telling time, that's the structure of your day. You can't make plans, which is our topic today, if you can't tell time.
Right. You can't say, I'll meet you at 5 if you don't know what 5 or at means. It's a necessary precursor.
Exactly. It's the framework that holds all future plans together.
Then we get into daily life. Naming household items, describing your routine, ordering food.
This is what I call functional fluency. I want the chicken. Where's the bathroom? This is a chair. It allows you to navigate the physical world without needing a chaperone. It gives you independence, real, tangible freedom.
But then, and this is where it gets really interesting to me, the source highlights emotional depth. It says the learner has mastered using adjectives, talking about family with warmth, and sharing hobbies with joy. That's not survival anymore.
No, that is a significant leap. Describing a chair is objective. It's just data. It's information transfer. But describing your family with warmth or a hobby with joy, that requires subjective language. It requires adjectives. It requires connecting language to emotion. That's where you start to show your personality.
You're not just a translation machine anymore.
Not at all. You're a person. You're three-dimensional. You have opinions, feelings, a unique perspective. You stop being a language learning robot and start being, well, you.
And finally, the grammar milestones that lead us here. They've mastered I am doing, the present continuous. They've mastered prepositions, knowing where things are. They've unlocked can for ability. And just yesterday, day 21, they unlocked the simple past.
Turning yesterdays into stories, as the source puts it. A beautiful way to phrase it.
Which brings us right to the precipice. We have survival skills, we have social skills, we have emotional skills, and we can talk about the past. The only thing missing is...
what happens next? The unknown, the future, the realm of possibility.
So let's dive into section 2. The source breaks the future down into 2 main pillars. And I think this is where so many people get tripped up. I remember learning other languages and thinking, why are there so many ways to say I will do something? Can't I just have one word?
It can be confusing. It really can. In English, we essentially have a binary system for everyday future tense. There's going to and there's will. And native speakers use them effortlessly, switching between them in milliseconds, but for a learner, they can seem synonymous.
But they aren't. They really, really aren't.
Not at all. They're not always interchangeable. There is a distinct psychological difference between the two. One is about logic, and one is about volition. One is about the head, the other is often about the heart or the gut.
Okay, so let's start with structure 1. I am going to, the source calls this the planner's tool.
Be going to. Technically, it's the verb to be plus going to plus the base verb. So I am going to eat, she's going to run. The key word here, as you said, is plan.
The source is very specific about this nuance. It says, you use this when you've already decided, or when there is clear evidence. Let's break that down. Already decided.
That part is crucial. It implies premeditation. It implies that the decision was made before the moment of speaking. If I say, I am going to study English tonight, I didn't just decide that right now while looking at you. I decided it this morning. It's on my mental calendar. It's a commitment I made to myself in the past about the future.
It feels heavier, right? More solid, like a block of concrete.
It has weight. It does. It's an intention that has already been processed by the brain. It's settled business. It's not a whim.
Okay, so that's the plan part. What about the evidence part? The source uses this great analogy about clouds to explain it. It says, look at the clouds, it's going to rain.
This is the perfect example to distinguish prediction from, say, just guessing. Why do we say it is going to rain instead of it will rain in that moment? Because we can see the physical proof. The dark clouds are the evidence. We aren't guessing. We are making a logical prediction based on what is physically occurring in front of us. It's almost a present reality. The rain is already inevitable.
So if I apply that to a sports context, let's say I'm looking at a scoreboard and my team is losing 10-0 with 1 minute left to play, I'd say, we are going to lose.
Exactly. The evidence is right there on the board. You wouldn't say, we will lose. We will lose. Sounds like a gloomy prophecy or a curse cast at the beginning of the season.
Right. It's too fatalistic.
We are going to lose is just a logical conclusion based on current reality. The data supports the statement. There's no escaping it.
Okay, let's look at the other examples the source unpacks to really cement this. She's going to buy a new phone next month.
That's a classic plan. She has probably saved the money. She's looked at models online. It's a project that is in motion. It's not a fantasy. It's a logistical step she is taking.
And the question form. Are you going to visit Shimla in summer?
That's an inquiry about plans. You're asking, is this on your calendar? Have you booked tickets? You aren't asking, will you end up in Schimmel by chance? You are asking about their intent and their schedule. It's a concrete question.
Okay, so going to is the responsible older sibling. It has a planner, it checks the weather report, it knows what's happening. Now let's look at the wild child. Will.
Will is fascinating because it is the tool of the spontaneous and the prophetic. It's much more emotional in a way. The structure is simple. Will plus the base verb. I will go. She will see. No to be verb needed.
The force lists 4 key uses for will. And I think breaking these down is vital because this is where the robot voice usually happens. If you use will wrong, you sound weirdly formal or even aggressive. So let's run through them. Number 1, predictions without present evidence.
This is the general forecast. If I say people will live on Mars one day, I have absolutely no evidence for that right now. There are no spaceships boarding at the airport. It's a belief, a guess, a prediction about the distant future. It's an opinion about what the universe holds.
Let's compare that to the rain example again.
Right. It's gonna rain means I see dark clouds right now. The evidence is present. It will rain tomorrow is just me reading a forecast or guessing based on the season. It feels more distant, less immediate. It's abstract. It lives in the imagination, not in the eyes.
Use number 2, instant or spontaneous decisions. This is my favorite one, and honestly the one I hear learners mess up the most.
Absolutely. This is the most common mistake. Learners often use going to for instant decisions, and it just sounds clunky. It sounds scripted.
Give us an example of how that sounds wrong.
Okay, so imagine the phone rings in the room. If a learner says, I am going to get it, it implies they knew it was going to ring and they had a pre-existing plan to answer it. It sounds eerie.
Like you rigged the phone system, or you're a psychic. At 3.05, the phone will ring and I am going to answer it.
Exactly, it's bizarre. But if you say, I'll get it, and the contraction is key, it shows you just decided. The phone rang, that's the stimulus. You decided to answer, that's the response. It's a snap judgment.
I will, it's a reflex.
Right. Because you didn't plan to answer the phone 3 hours ago, you decided in that split second. The source gives another great example. I'll help you carry that bag. You see someone struggling with groceries and boom, you make an offer. It's an instant reaction to a situation. You didn't wake up that morning thinking, today at 2 p.m. I'm going to help a stranger with their bags. No, the situation demanded it, and your will responded.
So will is the superhero verb, action and reaction.
In that specific context, yes, it's immediate engagement with the world. It's responsive.
Uses number 3 and 4 are kind of grouped together in my mind. Promises, refusals, offers, and threats. These are what linguists call speech acts, right, where the words themselves are the action.
Exactly. A speech act is where saying the word is the action. By saying, I will call you, you aren't just describing the future, you are creating a contract. That is a promise. I won't tell anyone. That is a binding refusal. The words themselves carry the force of the action.
And the source brings up the ultimate question, will you marry me?
Which is the perfect illustration. Ideally, you don't ask, are you going to marry me?
That sounds like you're asking about their schedule.
Yeah.
Is that in your 5-year plan? Have you penciled me in between, get a promotion, and buy a car?
Right. Are you going to marry me? Sounds like a nagging interrogation. It sounds like you're nagging them about a chore they were supposed to do. Will you marry me is an offer. It's a request for a promise. It's vulnerable. It's asking for a volition, not a pre-existing plan.
So will carries the weight of commitment in that moment. It's a pledge.
Yes. Going to is about logistics. Will, in this case, is about soul.
I really like that distinction. So to recap the whole distinction before we move on, going to is for plans and evidence, the architect with the blueprints. Will is for predictions, spontaneous offers, and promises, the hero making a move in the moment.
That's the golden rule. If you stick to that core idea, you'll be right 95% of the time. The other 5% is poetry.
But of course, life isn't always black and white. It's not always so clear-cut. And the source material has a section called Other Natural Future Phrases. Because sometimes we don't know what we're doing. Sometimes we are clueless.
Or we want to be polite. Or vague. Or just less intense. The source highlights that we need nuance. We aren't always 100% sure will or 100% plan going to. If you only use those two, you can sound very certain, very black and white. You sound like a project manager for every aspect of your life.
Right. I am going to have a good time at this party. It sounds a bit forceful. So let's talk about planning and hope. The source lists phrases like, I'm planning to, and I hope to. Why do we need these? How are they different from going to?
Okay, take, I'm planning to learn guitar. This is softer than I am going to learn guitar.
Yeah.
Going to? Sounds like you've already booked the lesson and bought the guitar. It's happening. Planning to sounds like it's on your to-do list, but maybe you haven't started the logistics yet. It gives you an out. It signals intention without strict commitment.
And I hope you get a good job.
Hope introduces desire without control. This is vital for humility and for realism. You can't really say, I'm going to get a good job unless you have the offer letter in your hand. If you say that, you risk sounding arrogant or maybe just delusional. You say, I hope to, because it depends on the interviewer, the market, luck. It shows realism. It acknowledges that the universe has a vote.
Then we have the uncertainty bucket. I use these all the time. I might, or maybe I will.
I might go to the market. This is crucial for family dynamics. If you say, I am going to the market, your family expects you to leave. If you don't go, you lied. If you say, I might go, they know it's just a possibility. It manages expectations. It keeps your options open. It's flexible.
And I feel like this is a big one.
I'm thinking of changing my job. This is the trying it on phase. You haven't decided. You are inviting the listener to give their opinion. It's a very social way of talking about the future. It turns the future into a discussion rather than a declaration.
What do you think of this idea?
Exactly. It's collaborative. It's a feeler.
You know what I think is often overlooked in all this? The time anchors. The source lists these explicitly. Tomorrow morning, next week, one day. And they're so important.
You can't have a future tense without a timeline. These anchors ground the verb. Without them, the listener is just floating in space. When is this happening?
The source makes a distinction between short-term, medium-term, and long-term.
Right. This evening is immediate. In the future, or one day, is abstract and vague. And matching the time anchor to the verb is an art. If I say, I am going to clean my room one day, what does that sound like to you?
It sounds like I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like procrastination disguised as a plan, a fantasy plan.
Exactly. But if you say, I'm going to clean my room this weekend, that sounds like a real plan. The anchor changes the credibility of the statement. The tighter the time anchor, the more real the future tense feels.
That's a great point. The anchor validates the verb.
Completely. It gives it teeth.
Okay, we've got the theory, we've got the nuance, we have the pillars and the softer options. Now let's go into the laboratory. The source provides these real-life scenarios. I want to walk through these because seeing the grammar in action is the only way it really sticks. We can talk theory all day, but how does it sound in a cafe?
Context is everything. It's the difference between reading a script and watching a movie. You need to see it play out.
Okay, scenario 1. Planning with friends. Let's look at this dialogue. Speaker A says, I'm going to meet my cousins. And speaker B says, maybe I'll stay home.
Notice the clash of energies here. This happens all the time. Speaker A uses going to. They have a plan. It's set. They probably have a time and a place. It's a fixed point. Speaker B uses maybe I'll. This shows indecision. It's a spontaneous thought occurring right then. They are contrasting a fixed schedule with an open mood.
And if speaker B said, I'm going to stay home, it would sound so different. It would sound like they had planned a solitary confinement for themselves. I have scheduled my staying home.
Exactly. I am going to stay home implies a deliberate choice to avoid the world. It's a statement. Maybe I'll stay home implies they just don't feel like putting on pants. It's a mood, not a plan. Big difference.
Scenario 2, the career path. This is a big one for learners because interviews are stressful, and sounding confident but not arrogant is key. I'm going to prepare for government exams versus I hope to get a job in Amicale.
We touched on this, but look at the agency here. I'm going to prepare. That part is within your control. You can plan your study hours. You can buy the books. It's your action. I hope to get a job. That is the desired outcome of the preparation, which is not entirely in your control. So you combine going to your effort with hope to the result. That is a very mature, professional way to speak about ambitions. It shows you know the difference between what you do and what the world gives you.
Okay, scenario 3 is the classic weather reaction. So simple, but so perfect it's raining. Followed by the response, I'll make hot chai.
Pure stimulus response. The rain happens. That's the external event. The decision to make chai happens instantly. That's the will.
Right.
You wouldn't say, I'm going to make hot chai, unless you were already standing in the kitchen holding the tea leaves, just waiting for the rain to start.
Which would be very strange.
Very strange. I'll make chai is an offer of comfort in the moment. It says, I see a problem, rain, and I spontaneously offer a solution, tea.
It's affectionate, too. It's an act of caring.
Yeah.
I'll take care of this.
Yes. Offers are almost always will. I'll get the door. I'll pay the bill. I'll drive. It's active service. It's the language of helping.
Now for the final one, scenario 4, the trekking trip. This one is a more complex interaction. It's a group trying to organize a trip to Batty. I'm going to read the lines, and I want you to tell me what's happening in the speaker's brain for each one.
Let's do it. Break it down.
Okay. Line 1, I'm going to be free.
That's a state of being. They have looked at their calendar, seen that it is empty, and are reporting that fact about the future. I'm going to be free. It's a fact derived from a schedule. It's information.
Okay. Line 2, thinking of going trekking.
That's a proposal. It's not a plan yet. They are testing the waters. What do you guys think of this idea? They're throwing an idea into the circle to see how people react.
Line 3, I'll bring my camera.
Spontaneous offer. The moment the trek is mentioned and seems like a real possibility, the speaker visualizes it and volunteers a contribution. I'll bring the camera.
Yeah.
They didn't plan this yesterday. They just decided it now to add value to the group's experience.
Line 4, it's going to be fun.
That's a prediction based on evidence. The evidence is trekking plus camera plus friends. The logical conclusion, fun. They can see the fun coming, just like they could see the rain clouds. They are projecting the emotion of the event based on the planned ingredients.
And the final one, line 5, I'll book the cab.
An action step. Volunteering. Again, the will of service. I will take this task upon myself.
This is how leadership sounds in a group chat. It's taking responsibility in the moment.
It's amazing how in 5 lines they cycled through plan, proposal, offer, prediction, and action. And it flows perfectly naturally.
That is fluency. Being able to switch between going to and will and thinking of based on the psychological context of each sentence. That's when you stop translating in your head and start just speaking. You are surfing the wave of the conversation.
So for the listener who is feeling a bit overwhelmed by all these switches, the source material offers a golden cheat sheet. Let's consolidate this. If you take away nothing else from this deep dive, what is the cheat sheet?
Okay, mental sticky notes ready. It's really simple when you boil it down. Rule number 1, going to is for plans. If it's in your diary, if you decided it yesterday, use going to. Also, use it if you see physical evidence like those rain clouds. So, plans and proof.
Got it. Diary and clouds going to. Rule number 2. Will is for the now and the unknown. If you decide it right now, that's the spontaneous part. If you are promising, offering, or refusing, and also if you are guessing about the far future without any evidence.
Spontaneity, promises, and wild guesses will.
Exactly. And rule number 3, the nuance rule. Use variety. Don't be afraid of I hope, I plan, and I might. They make you sound human and flexible. They soften the edges of your speech.
Diary versus now. That's a really good way to lock it in your head.
It's the simplest distinction to survive conversations and sound natural most of the time.
Okay, we can't end a deep dive on skill acquisition without actual practice. It just wouldn't be right. The source material has something called a pause challenge. And I love this because it forces you, the listener, to stop being passive.
Active recall is the only way to learn. It really is. You can listen to podcasts for 10 years and not learn a language if you never open your mouth.
So I'm going to ask the listener, yes, you with the earbuds, to pause in a moment. The source asks you to speak 8 to 10 sentences out loud right now. Not in your head, out loud. Your voice in the room.
Your mouth needs to get used to the shape of the future. The muscles need to practice the contraction. It feels different in your mouth than it looks on paper.
The prompts are simple. Real plans you have for next week, next month, and next year. And you have to mix going to and will.
So don't just say, I'm going to. Try to find a place for I hope, or maybe I will. Challenge yourself to use the full toolkit.
Here are some examples from the source to inspire you before you pause. Next month, I'm going to start gym again. That's a plan. One day, I'm going to buy a new scooter. That's a long-term intention. It might rain. I'll take an umbrella.
Notice that last one. It's so good. It might rain. That's the uncertainty. And I'll take an umbrella. That's the decision made in the moment to mitigate the risk. That's complex, natural thinking.
Okay, consider this your pause button. Take a moment and speak your sentences out loud.
And we're back. Hopefully you actually did it. If you didn't, do it after the show. Do it in the shower. Do it while cooking. It doesn't matter where. Talking to yourself is the secret weapon of language learning. It feels silly at first, but it absolutely works.
Now, for the formal homework assignment. The source gives 4 specific tasks for day 2. Task 1. Write 12 sentences, mixing all the future forms we discussed. Get them down on paper.
Writing slows you down and forces you to think about the choice between will and going to.
Task 2. Record a 90, 120-second clip.
That recording is key. The assignment is to describe plans for the weekend plus your hopes for the next 6 months. Listening to your own voice is a powerful tool. It helps you catch those rhythm errors. It bridges the gap between what you think you sound like and what you actually sound like.
Task 3. Speak.
Hmm.
Tell a family member or friend one plan today. Just one. I'm going to make dinner. I'll call you later.
Make it real. Take it out of the classroom context. Use the language to actually change your reality, to coordinate with another human being.
And task 4. Share. Write a comment, maybe on the platform where you're accessing this course, about something you are going to do.
Public declaration increases accountability. It's a psychological trick. When you write it down for others to see, you are more likely to actually do it.
As we wrap up, the source teases day 23. And it sounds like a party. Or maybe an exam.
A review and mega quiz. It's a celebration of crossing the 22-day mark. It covers everything from day 1 all the way to day 22. That is going to be a serious test of retention. It's the midterm exam.
I'm looking forward to that. But for today, let's close with the philosophical thought the source offers. It's a beautiful quote. Every time you say, I'm going to, or I will, well, you're not just speaking English, you're declaring your intentions to the world.
It's so true. Language isn't just code for describing things. It's a claim on reality. When you say, I'm going to start a business, you have brought that idea out of the silence of your mind and into the world. You have given it form. You have started the process of creation.
And that's what this journey is really about, isn't it? It's about becoming, as the source says, more hopeful, more ambitious, more you.
I love that line, more you, because when you can speak about the future, you are finally able to express the full range of your human experience, your memories of the past, your observations of the present, and your dreams for the future. You become a complete person in the new language.
So keep planning, keep promising, keep dreaming out loud. And remember, whether it's I'm going to or I will, the most important thing is that you are speaking.
Absolutely. Use the tools. Go build your future.
That's it for today's deep dive into day 22. Go create your future. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.